Hello, everyone. Yes, it is me, and we're continuing my condition, to read the Bible from A to Z, one little bit at a time. We're in the book of Isaiah 52. Still got a few to go here. Uh, came across a story this morning, on Facebook, on how a older lady somewhere here in the United States gave shelter to 79 Hells Angels during a tornado in her barn. Tornado. Barn. Okay. Well, the barn, I guess, didn't come down, and, 20 years later, yes, that didn't happen yesterday. Those Hells Angels come back, 300 of them, and anyway. So I thought, wow, okay. Well, first of all, some of what I just told you was not in the story. Like 20 years later, I had to go and find that out again on where else the story went. Uh, anyway, there were so many loopholes in that story that I thought this can't be right. So I went and checked it out, and sure enough, yeah, it's these stories float around. Yes, the goodness of the people out there, and oh, it's such a sweet story. Okay, I don't know how the Hells Angels are now, but their reputation isn't all that great. Okay, used to be, maybe better now. I don't know. Maybe I should go check it out. Maybe they've become a motorcycle gang that is helping out all over the place and actually are doing what, well, I think motorcycle gangs should be doing, since they are banded together and strong as a unit and do things for the good. Yes, yeah, I said that before about gangs. Yes, uh, you're looking for another family to be a part of. Why does it have to be through violence and then go and attack other people? And okay, you get my drift. Yes, being into drugs and all that. How about just ganging together and then say, hey, we're strong as a unit. Let's go out now and help people. Yes? All right. Now it can't be done. Would be a cool thing, though, wouldn't it? All right. So, went and checked it out. It's a fake story. It's, they called, it was called a feel good story for people. Really. So, in order for people to feel good, oh my gosh, this is such a wonderful story, right? Right. Yeah, it's a fake story. The story is not true. Never happened. And I thought, well, that's so odd. There are plenty of true stories out there, good stories. Yet we have to, what? We rely to have our emotions poked with fake stories? Why? And if enough people, like me, were to call that out, I went in on the post, and it was a friend of mine, that I know, who posted it, and again, the comments, oh, what a wonderful story. Now, when it's a fake story, people, it's a fake story. Then maybe they would disappear. Yes? Why don't we call them out? And then tell a true story of, on how people helped each other out. Yes, I got plenty of them myself, where the give and take was beautiful, even with strangers. But here we're relying. I don't have to go and look for fake goodness out there. Why do other people? Or why are other people so hooked on that kind of stuff? I just wonder. That's what people want and need out there. Well, so be it. But I wonder why. Is goodness, true stories of goodness and give and take between people, are they becoming rare? I don't think so. Well, then let's tell the true stories. Huh? Yes? Post that. All right, let's get going. Can't help myself. Ah, dear Lord. Okay. Came across something else. Let's see if I remember it at the end of the video, and then maybe I'll tell it. The liberation, or maybe it comes across while I'm reading here. The liberation of Jerusalem. Awake, awake, clothe yourself in strength, Sion. Put on your finest clothes, Jerusalem, holy city, for the uncircumcised and the unclean will enter you no more. Okay. What a way to just put others down. Okay, you know what? Shake off your dust. Get up, captive Jerusalem. The chains have fallen from your neck, captive daughter of Jerusalem. Why not? Here again, too. In the way this is written down, why not just address the people? Right? Yes? Is it just the people in Jerusalem? Isn't Israel way greater and farther, broader region than just Jerusalem? Everybody lived just in Jerusalem? I'm just saying. For Yahweh says this, you were sold for nothing, you will be redeemed without money. For the Lord Yahweh says this, long ago my people went to Egypt and settled there as aliens. Finally, Assyria oppressed them for no reason. So now what is to be done, declares Yahweh? Since my people have been carried off for nothing, their masters howl in triumph, declares Yahweh. And my name is held in contempt all day, every day. Because of this, my people will know my name. Because of this, they will know, when the day comes, that it is I saying, here I am. All right, I do not believe that God had anything to do with any of this. Again, this is... It seems that, and I get this through this book, trying to get back to what is true. Yes? And it seems not to be possible. It's kind of what I'm gleaning out of this book. And how difficult it is for the Israelites to truly just follow the guidance of God. Yes, regardless of where they are. A prediction of salvation. Did you guys hear that? A prediction of salvation. How beautiful on the mountains are the feet of the messenger announcing peace, of the messenger of good news, who proclaims salvation and says to Zion, your God is king. I am waiting for a messenger announcing peace, a messenger of good news, that our beloved true mother is finally released from detention. Which brings me to the story I want to tell later, but we'll find out. We'll see if I remember it. The voices of your watchmen. So, yes, a prediction of salvation. We can't predict anything ahead. We just won't know exactly what's going to happen. All we can do is faith forward. Yes? All right. The voices of your watchmen, now they raise their voices, shouting for joy together. For with their own eyes they have seen Yahweh returning to Zion. Break into shouts together, shouts of joy, you ruins of Jerusalem. For Yahweh has consoled his people, he has redeemed Jerusalem. It's a prediction, it hasn't happened. Yahweh has bared his holy arm for all the nations to see, and all the ends of the earth have seen the salvation of our God. Go away, go the salvation of our God. Did God need salvation? So oddly worded. Now may be something wrong with the translation. Go away, leave that place. Do not touch anything unclean. Get out of her, purify yourselves, you who carry Yahweh's vessels, for you are not to hurry away. You are not to leave like fugitives. No, Yahweh marches at your head, and the God of Israel is your rear guard. So I'm going to mention it here because it kind of goes along. I have met some people from Israel. Kind of two types of people. The ones that are truly following, really truly following the Old Testament and this and that and all the requirements of their holy days there and all that stuff. And they're very difficult to be around. The reason is because there are so many restrictions that most households, I guess us unclean ones, don't have. And then to satisfy their need it's difficult. Yes, so maybe that's why they only visit each other most of the time. And I've come across some very rude people like that. Um, and I've looking at them, it doesn't mean that there aren't rude people otherwise. This is just in my own experience, when it comes to stuff like this. And I'd look at them and I wonder how you're doing. I said, but the unclean, yeah, uncircumcised. Okay, well, you know what? I don't know. How does this pertain to a woman, right? And so it's just about men. I'm just saying. And so how do the Jews categorize women, right, when it comes to all that? And I wondered on how they were doing, how all the Israelites, the ones following their faith, so steadfast is now, how are they doing in the realm of love? Yes? I wonder. Are they as clean as they pretend to be when it comes to all that? Or are there the all the kosher stuff, this and that they're under? Is that just kind of a front? And behind all that facade, what goes on when it comes to the realm of love? They're children. Hmm? And all that. I just wonder. Uh, which brings me to, right? And then I have met a friend, and she was that family was they held on to some traditions, yes, but it wasn't as strict. It wasn't as absolute or whatever. And she was a absolute amazing friend that I had for quite a few years. We homeschooled, and she taught me how to make bread. Yes, and boy, when she started making bread, it wasn't just a loaf. You ended up with baskets and baskets and baskets full of bread. And she also taught me, though I can't remember now, and I've been trying to find the recipe for it, for this bread that you make, and then it becomes really hard, and you can keep it for months and months and months. And then you bake it again, finish baking it, and it's just like bread to eat. And I was fascinated by that. That's amazing. The reason it is amazing to me, because that's survival food right there. When you can make something that lasts on the shelf, not in a fridge, for months and months and months, stays good, and then you get it as you need it. Yeah, yes, and then finish prepping it, and it's perfectly edible and delicious. Yeah. Also, otherwise, her household was probably one of the messiest as I've ever seen. Yes, it was a bit filthy as well. It's just there were a lot of children. She had three boys, I think, and you could tell the whole house. It was great to bring my children there because, boy, I tell you what, filthy. I mean, there's you could tell there were some food stains, this and that, and it wasn't filthy, okay, where I would have to worry about the health of my children or anything. And they had a great time at her house. All children had a great time at my house too, but I found that very seldom anywhere else. That when you have children, when you start having children, that people just set up their whole house for the children. Yes, that's what I did, and she had the same thing. So we got along really well. She was one of the most kindest, sweetest souls ever, but boy, did she have a strength within her little body. It was really amazing. Anyway, there you go. And she wasn't above anyone else uh, to spend time with someone unclean like me, according to. Yes? Yeah. So, uh, yes, I wish I could remember her name. Ugh, it's gone. It was so long. That was in California still, so long ago. Fond memories of her and her family. Yes. Hmm. So, yes. So, point the finger. Yes. And, like it's done here again. And beware when that finger points right back at you. Yes? Yeah. What goes on behind all the rituals, all the days that they have to do this and that, and then the way they eat, and I don't know what else. What goes on behind that facade when it comes to the realm of love? Yes? Are they doing any better? Oh, I'd like to know. So I saw there is a monarch. It's called the Monarch's Report, and in Korea there's all kinds of stuff. South Korea, all kinds of stuff going on. So they recorded. Someone recorded this woman who's somewhere in politics, and this is like the next term now. She had 3 terms and is ready for it to be voted in again or something. And she got recorded on how she down talked one of her employees for an error or something. It didn't seem like something I listened to it all that important, yeah. And on how this leader in politics was talking to one of her employees. It's very horrible to listen to. At one point, she even said, "I wish I could kill you." Right? Yes, that's terrible. Why would anyone say anything like that to anyone? And you're in a leader position. That's terrifying. And at the end of that whole thing, so what do you think? Should somebody like that be removed? No, she may be actually doing a very good job. They weren't talking about that. It was just this one incident. She may be doing a very, very good job. That's why she had been voted in for the last 3 times. But her behavior is atrocious, and she should be given a lesson in that on how one treats, as a leader, their employees. Because no doubt that probably this wasn't the only incident when it came down to it. Here's the thing, though. The people who reported that and said, "Yeah, what do you think?" I have to say, well, if you think yes, that person should be removed in politics in South Korea, then there are a whole bunch of leaders in our own movement who should be removed as well. There was a couple of instances where I came across a Korean leader in our midst here in the United States that did the same thing. Treated an employee, a very nice, good, kind employees, terribly, in front of everyone, as if what we're just going to stand by. Well, everybody else was standing by, not me. And I went and tapped him on the shoulder. Now, there's a big long story goes with it, but tapped him and said, "Hey, look at me, be nice." And he was like, "Whoa, oh, what? Oh, yeah, okay. He tried to get back at me later, but that didn't work either. Anyway, so and then and I stood there and watched him to keep communicating with the employee, and he did better. Yes. One shouldn't be afraid to say something. Don't just stand by and let others abuse and bully others. That's just wrong. But we don't need to go in with blazing guns either, right? Yes? But again, if we're pointing someone else out, we should remember, we should be very careful to not have the same thing happening in our own ranks. Yes? Yeah. Just saying. And no, I don't think if the people are doing a good job in their positions, they don't need to be fired. They don't need to be relieved. They don't need to leave. They need to be taught. They need to be given a lesson in behavior towards others. Yes? That's what we do. Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's keep going. Now I said what I had to say. 19 minutes already again. Fourth song of the servant. And here is 53 in the middle. It's going to start right here in the middle. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here and make this all one because this is the overhead here. So we're done. the liberation of Jerusalem. That's how one liberates. That's how one, what I just said, that's how we become liberated. When we, as teachers, yes, or people, go, man, wait a minute. You can't be two faced like that, right? Uh, Acknowledge that. Then we work in our own ranks first. Doesn't mean we can't already start teaching everywhere else. But if the people see, right, that we're also working within our own movement, within our own faith forward, and try to restore things properly, then we can already go outside of that circle as well. Yes, and continue on. And I believe that was also our Heavenly Parents' intention in the Old Testament. Yes, we talked about the chosen stuff already. So, there it is. Let's see, I have a few minutes. After I got here to the United States and didn't go back, I got to backtrack just a little bit. I think due to the fact that I wasn't really around good examples of marriage when I was growing up. I didn't really see anything horrible. I did meet one couple. Interestingly enough, they were, yeah, Switzerland people are quite judgmental. Okay, it's in our nature to just holler around. Let's say it that way. And I told in on another video a little earlier on how this family had this apartment and this was a 2 apartment house, and on how my mom was able to get that one apartment, and the owners of the place lived above us. And it was a couple. They had 2 children, 3 children, and they were, I don't know, it was an interesting couple. And he happened to be almost 20 years younger than her. You couldn't tell. They looked the same age. And he was, I heard the story of them on how she used to work at a restaurant as a server, and he would go in, and I guess as the story I was told, he fell in love with her at first sight, and she really resisted it because of the age difference, and then I guess couldn't resist anymore. He was so adamant, this and that, and they got married. So that's kind of the story. And this couple, this married couple, was probably the most amazing couple I've ever met in my entire life. And boy, were they persecuted over the age difference when people would find out. And surely at the time when they did get together, this and that. And you know what? They just didn't care anymore. And they were the most amazing couple. He was all about her. That was it. I never seen in all the years that I lived in that below, and I got older. As I've watched people, I've always watched people and their behavior. I have never seen that man in the company of another woman, no matter what. Never. Okay. Or look sideways at another woman. Never. That husband's eyes were all about his wife. And she was all about him as well. That was the only good, as far as I can remember. Maybe there were more, but I can't remember. Relationship in a marriage that I've seen. Otherwise, there wasn't really much to be had. And I think for many children, it's the same way. Okay, at that time, now. And I decided to get into, why am I telling you this? So I had decided early on I was never going to get married. and I was not going to have children. I didn't want that. I was going to do something different with my life. Yep, always kind of thought on my own, had my own ideas. Came here to the United States, met my husband, and for some reason, yes, I was 20 years old then. Never been tempted before. And I have no idea why things suddenly flipped in my mind. I didn't even know my husband very well. I could hardly speak English, so I couldn't really have a talk with him or this or that. It was definitely a case of being suddenly blinded by love. Blinded. And it didn't matter. I was like, I'm going to have this man, come high or low water. I don't care. I'm going to have this man. It didn't even matter if he wanted me or not. And I realized that this is the man I'm going to marry and have children with. And it was almost as if, and I examined I'm going, what the heck am I thinking? What am I doing? I'm actually going to start living on another continent? In a country where I have to learn the language? What am I doing? And I realized, with Spirit World, okay, always at my heels, that I was 100% and absolutely guided by God to marry this man for the reason why, and have children with. I don't know. Didn't know at the time. Yes. Interestingly enough, God chose a man for me that couldn't say no. Yep. Though I got all the signs of him saying, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to marry you. I ignored them all. He couldn't say it out loud. Too bad. It went on. Okay, so people have asked me and find out a little more. I'm not going to tell the negative stuff. I said I was going to tell all the positive things. Or all the positive. I don't want to dwell on the negative. That's dumb to me. Okay, sometimes you have to relive something to get the lesson again, or what was I taught at that time? Yes, from something that had more to do with sorrow rather than love. Yes, but that's it. I revisit things to keep the truth in the future, in the presence here and in the future. To not that suddenly things were being made up, regardless if it was love or sorrow. Yes? That stays clear. Because only with the truth can one move forward and restore one's own baggage, this and that, right? Yes? That's just how it is. And if one doesn't do that, then you're going to just start lying to yourself, right? Yes. There's more interesting stuff there going on. So, in any case, we ended up going to... Oh, then there was the... Okay, so the pressure is on, or rather not. I mean, we could have just gone on and dating for years and years and years, but that was not in the cards either. For me to be able to stay here in the United States, I had to get married. I had to take... All my visa time was already done, this and that, and I would have had to leave. So... I did give him, again, he couldn't say no. I did give him a chance. I said, look, either we get married or I'll leave. And he couldn't make up his mind. Again, he just couldn't look someone straight in the eye and say, yeah, go ahead and leave. No, I don't want to get married. I never got that. Oh, I felt it, but he didn't say it out loud. So I'm going, well, if you can't tell me, then I know I'm meant to stay here for a reason. So we went to Reno. So it happened that he had a friend who was at a conference in Reno, and he really wanted to see that friend. So we decided that we're going to go to Reno and get hitched at the hitching post. Yeah, it was one of those chapels in Reno. Oh, my gosh. It was awful. I mean, if there was ever a time for me to say, man, this is not going to work out, what am I doing? I mean, regardless, run away. And I didn't. I just didn't. That's how bad I wanted that man. That's how blindly in love I was. And there was something keeping me here in the United States. It was almost as if I couldn't walk away. Just like in that story I told when I needed a sign from heaven. Anyway, and we went on our way home. So we had this friend of his as a witness, yes. And I didn't even know what I was saying. As I said, I didn't speak enough English really to say the vows, so they had to say one line at a time, kind of. Okay. Uh, so there it was, and yep. Uh, we went on our way home. We went to the Ponderosa Ranch. Yes, where they and it was something that I watched as a child. Then we went to lunch. That was our wedding dinner. Yes, okay. Then we went home, and that was that. Yep. Didn't even get a ring. Didn't have even have a ring. Nope, nope, no, no. As I said, he didn't want to get married. It'd be fun to have him here and me telling the story and him kind of, honestly also give his input, right? I think that would be very comical and probably would get a lot of views. Okay, I'm laughing. The last thing I want to say here, nope, can't. All right, people have asked me, have you ever regretted? No, never, ever, because of what came after. May Heavenly Parent bless, protect you, guide you, embrace you with love. Eldridge, my dearest brother in faith, I'm praying for you. I hope to hear from you soon sometime, and I will talk to you all another time.